another match point.
Incredible third set here.
They changed their strategy a little bit and they fought their way back in.
There it is. Game, set, and match. All right, hello and welcome to the 2024-25 APTA Tour. We're live from the Orchard Lake Country Club in Birmingham, Michigan, bringing you the Detroit Invitational Grand Prix with live streaming, brought to you by the APTA membership and our tour presenting sponsors Volley and Randt. Tournament support has been provided by the following local sponsors as well: Bank Rifkin, DAG Partners, rhymes with tag, so DAG Partners, Lux Home, Oakland Hill Men's and Ladies Paddle Ladders, Orchard Lake Thursday Night Guys, Oswald Company, Relax the Back, Viking, Marsh McClanahan Agency, Jack McNaughton, and Zimmer Blommet. I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Mike Raleigh, bringing you men's quarterfinal action between our number 3 seeds of Durant and Mitchell against Ong and Rams. Mike, welcome to the booth. The match is already in progress. And we have Ron Borgatti up in the chair there. I think we gave a little Frank Willard surprise shot up there. But want to do a quick players on the court and we'll get into it.
Absolutely. It's not like the team on our closest to us really needs no introduction. But Johan Durant with the gray sweatshirt on the right-hand side of our screen and his partner Stephen Mitchell. On the far side, we've got in the backhand and the ad side, Andrew Ong. And Philippe Rams is on the deuce side in the vest. I call that the all-hair team. I mean, Rams and Ong definitely have some of the best flow. And we had talked about that at the charities.
Absolutely. They've got terrific hair.
Not only are they great players, but some really nice flow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the way, you say it a little enviously, but they are very good players, and they're going to be out here for a while, so we'll have plenty of talking points, their hair being one of them. This is actually kind of one of the things that's great about this tournament here. It's the kind of introduction now for Durant and Mitchell in this season. And like a lot of us in the rackets industry, a lot of directors are taking on a lot of new roles there. These guys are doing a lot of pickleball, other things. And last year, they didn't have such a successful season. They didn't play that much. They were busy opening and building a new business. And, they're back at it when we're cracking. I've been told they're practicing and playing a little, but we'll have to see out here how they look, because it's exciting to see them back out here.
Well, I think we'll definitely see. They'll be tested. I mean, Andrew Ong is one of the steadiest players on the tour. Likes kind of a sneaky drive off the back screen, but above all, he's one of the most disciplined players out there. And Philippe Rams he's got all the shots, but I think this is a good test for them, being their first tournament this year. It'll be fun to see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because, Rams loves to blitz, and he's going to have to do more self-blitzing. Ong is not, he's played more with people who are driving the ball from the back so he can move forward some of the time. That's what he did with Mike Wagner, who was on our last live stream in the men's round of 16. Ong doesn't really, he's more steady and solid. He's more of a setup guy. So he's not going to be taken off too many times on Ong's drive, or at least I don't see it that way. So it'll be interesting to see how they work out the backcourt offense. We know they're going to be able to stay out here all day. The question is how they're going to hurt Durant and Mitchell.
Yeah.
And you made a great point earlier. Andrew Ong has kind of a slippery screen drive, especially with his backhand. You watch him, he cocks his racket up, and if he leaves it up, that's when he's going to tend to drive it. When he drops it a little underneath it, he's got a tell just right before he's about to hit it, but he holds it to the last second. He doesn't hit it hard, but he sort of sneaks it on you quickly, and he's fast, so he's in with a blitz behind it some of the time.
Nice little blitz there from Mitchell.
In a lot of cases in the past, you know, it's been the match has been you got to take the net at least sometime against Durant and Mitchell, although they start carving you up at the net. Right now they're patient, but they still will hold the ball, control it, and we'll see if they start lighting up some cutters. Right now they're just kind of playing it solid and simple and saying, what can you guys do to us? Now you see Durant sneaking up. He's not another one we talked to in our round of 16 match about Tom Murphy having a really good drop shot. Durant reads the screen drive and in a heartbeat gets up on the net. He has very soft hands. He will hit a number of drop volley winners if given the opportunity.
Well, it's almost, you know, his range and, you know, one step, it's like he goes from the service line to the net. So, you know, kind of like Tom Murphy in our earlier one where they almost bait you to try to hit it, and then he'll step forward and little sneak attack drop shot.
Yeah, so far that's the first cutter we're trying a little bit. Mostly very patient. We're going to see. This unfolds, and Durant will do this all day.
Right.
Like he's no stranger to playing a 3-hour match. Rams, I've seen him play really a lot of 3-hour matches. He's more of a shot maker, but right now he's disciplined with Ang. He's on this journey with him. Let's lob. Let's see if we can work the shot clock of Durant and Mitchell. Keep working. Now you're going to see him carve this. Great stick there from Rams.
That's really good patience from Rams. You know, like you had said, that's not the speed that he likes to play at. But, I mean, that's what makes him a great player is, you know, they can adjust.
40-15.
One of the things that's great about Ang is you know what you're getting, right? All the time, meaning he's going to be in it. He's going to work hard. He's going to take out every ball. He is willing to grind and go the distance with you. You don't know how much offense he's going to necessarily give you, but it gives you a kind of a feeling of like, you know, this guy's never really going to miss, so I just got to pick the spots I need to pick.
Yeah, and it takes a little pressure off you, but, I mean, we've all had the partner that, you know, you don't know what you're getting, and you almost feel like, okay, I got to take my opportunity while I get it because I might not get another one. But Rams knows he will get his opportunities if he's patient enough.
Right. You see Durant pulling the trigger on a quick backhand chip there. This is that one. So game point here for Rams. Nice cut off there from Andrew Ong. And in my mind, he's been one of the more improved players on the tour just because he took his game ability and he took it to the next level. He makes very few bad choices. He kind of stays in it. He is competing mentally. He's a tough out.
Yes. It's a great way to put it.
That's the first cut winner we've seen there. He holds it. Short lobs are going to kill you against Durant and Mitchell.
And what makes this so hard is not only the shot itself, but from that same look, Durant can take that ball and hit the slash that moves through the court, almost takes your knees out.
Mm-hmm.
So, which one you pick and choose which one we're going to try to defend. Because if you go charging in and all of a sudden he pulls a slash out there, it's a trip to the emergency room.
All right. Good disciplined hold there from Ong and Rams. We're going to see a lot of that from them. And a couple of missed drives there just from Durant and Mitchell. There you go. Durant staying back on the Rams return, and he sticks it, misses the screen drive. Hard overhead. You do not want to let balls hang against Durant and Mitchell. You let him short, his options are endless, from the cut one he drops short to the hard, fast one there. A more challenging serve there from Durant. He's staying back, looking for the screen drive on the first shot. Yeah, one of the things that I've always loved about watching Durant, he just starts with the racket, he cocks it up into one position, good continental, a little over it, and from there he'll either let the ball drop at the last minute and push it straight with a little underspin, he'll cut it, he'll hold it right, and he holds the shot to the absolute last second. And he mixes it around. That time he tries to go around Rams, but all he does is set up the down-the-line drive for him. He's, doesn't get around it. Rams is all over that.
Be interesting to see as this match plays out if Durant and Mitchell, how often they go to that sidearm serve. You know, they both can hit it. I know that they hit it, a little bit more in the last couple of years, but, you see that not a shot that's been hit as often. Adam Morgan still hitting it. We had earlier but it seems to be, it's kind of ridden that
the pendulum went back the other way, right? I think it still has its life and its effectiveness. I do find that the people who go to it do fault a little bit more. I think having it in the bag is still useful. There are certain players it's better against, and certain players you just, because it keeps it lower, and certain players you just got to be careful with it. But they've definitely, I think Durant has mostly put it in the bag. Mitchell still uses it. But yeah, I fiddled around with it a bunch. I'm sure you did as well. And I thought it was very useful to have. There were a couple of matches where I thought, God, this is exact right time to use this. And others where I'm like, this is not helping me at all.
Yeah. And I found it just too difficult to hit consistently. And you got to put in the time and the practice to make it truly a tool that's an effective tool.
Yeah, and the whole thing is, the theory is that it keeps the ball lower, which means the guy can't drive it, is down at your feet, but that's the trick. And overall, I think you're right.
We see the replay. There's that Andrew Long sending a message.
Right. He's not intimidated at all by the multiple national champions and recent Hall of Famer Johan Durant. His terrific partner, Stephen Mitchell. Oh. Durant was like, I could have gotten there. It would have required a little more movement than I'm ready for yet. See that? He puts up a quick lob with the stands right in, and he just lets it go. If the ball was a little higher, he would have volleyed an attack. If not, he lets it go right, knows his partner has him.
Now, do you think it's a long-winded question here, but I'll get there eventually. When you're looking at one of the goals when we're at the net, when players are at the net, when I say we, I mean just kind of simple strategies,
right,
is that you're trying to keep your opponents off balance and uncomfortable when they're, in any instance. But boy, especially when you're at the net, is there another player other than Johan Durant that makes you feel, or makes their opponents feel, more uncomfortable than
Johan?
when
he's in the backcourt and you're hitting Tim. When he's at the net.
Hitting overheads.
When he's at the net, yeah. No, he's obviously one of the best to ever do it in that regard, because of his ability to hold the ball and hit a variety of spins. And I've actually seen him more than any other player, and there are some out there who own these shots pretty well. The list is just a small handful, though. I've seen him actually completely dominate matches with, he could go on a tear with it. Juan Araya has had it to varying degrees. But I would put Durant probably number one on the list. I don't. Is anybody in your mind come ahead of that?
Not in today's game. But I just was thinking, like to your point earlier, you'd said he can he holds it, he can slash it, he can cut drop, he can flatten it out and hit the bomb overhead, he can roll it, he can hit just the flat out drop shot. So you're never, his opponent in the backcourt, they're never comfortable.
Yeah, no,
and I don't know if there's anybody else that does it as well as he does right now.
Yeah, he's certainly one of the greatest to ever do it. The originators, Keevan's U-Line back in the day from your area, Chicago, they were the first to really do it. He took it to another level than that. And, he's been the best because it's the combination of the things that are behind it as well, the volleying ability, and he holds it, pushes it, starts slow, then he attacks it, just keeps you guessing. That's why we do say that it's important for a team to be able to hold the net to some degree against this team. It's one of the reasons why, he's widely considered the best player to ever play the game. Because and their returns are so good, it's not easy to hold the net. So if you stay back against them, now you're back here, and now you got to defend against this.
Right.
That said, we have seen teams, and even like last year, they weren't quite as practiced, Durant and Mitchell. Regalado and Salazar are able to take them out in the semifinals because they're so steady. They were able to withstand the defense. And if you can do it, it's a huge, feather in your cap.
Right. Yeah, that I remember I was calling that match, and I was like, well, because you saw a level of frustration from Durant and Mitchell that, they weren't able to make them feel uncomfortable at the net. And I even was like, well, they ought to just give up the net and play from the backcourt.
Yeah, they probably should have in that match. The other team lobbed better, Regalado and Salazar. They lobbed better than they had. They played them earlier in the season, and Durant and Mitchell handled them. And I talked to them about it, and they said they just lobbed so much better this time. And you might have been right. They probably should have let the net go a little bit and say, hey, let's do this, from the back this time. It's very rare, and there you go. You hit that short lob. He's got 10 options. But once he goes to that Western grip, it is a time where you better get ready to run.
Yeah.
But again, he does everything so fast. Like, he sets it very quickly. A lot of people show you something right away, and you have a second to think it. He's so quick with how he sets his grip from one thing to the next. Just couldn't get out of the way. I think that was payback for getting hit with that warm-up serve. You think I ended wrong? We're like, it's a really bad idea.
You hit my pedal, or hit my partner, I'll hit your
partner. Right. Careful, it wasn't a warm-up. There have been, Johan Durant's the best guy, but there have been those type of players, who manufacture some sort of slight so they get pumped up for a match. I don't know that he's one of them necessarily, but it is funny. Like, you get in there, and we just talked about that. You do not want to hit that off-pace drive. Look, he sees it. The racket head's cocked up. He just walks right up, and he can see Andrew wrong. And this is the thing that you got to watch when you're watching Andrew wrong. He'll take that backhand. If he leaves it cocked up, he's getting ready to drive it. If he drops it under a little, then he's lobbing it, and you can usually tell. And if you're good about it, you can end up with that opportunity that Durant had.
Did you know that Volley has thrown 5 million balls to players working on their game? 5 million.
5 million, wow.
5 million. Don't get left behind. Get your reps in with Volley. Whether it's day or night, you're in control of your training. Volley offers world-class training on demand, helping you sharpen your skills and level up your game whenever it fits your schedule. Ready to join the movement? Start training smarter with Volley today. $5 million balls.
That's a lot of balls.
You know what I love?
How many you've fed in your lifetime, actually, Mike? I wonder if you could even answer that.
I've been in my 30-something years. And God, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a great question. And it feels a little insulting to think Volley, which has only been around for a couple of years, it might have fed more balls than you have.
Yeah, that's,
I feel a little insulted, like I have a Volley machine at the club, and maybe I'm going to return it.
Yeah, just out of spite, right?
Right.
How dare they?
We're talking about creating those imagined slights, you get pumped up, right? So, no, but, Durant so far, he has finished a couple of balls and hit 2 hard overheads into the body for winners, and that's a great sign for him. If you're talking about that pressure and how these guys can win points, you'll also watch in the backcourt just the quick ability for them to attack with a fast forehand. He's just standing there sometimes. Doesn't even move. He just goes grip switch, release, and it's instant power. And it's done from it's such a compact, minimal stroke. It is textbook on what you would want to develop as a player. Like, he can stick that ball, and he's got the reach too, like on that one there.
How do we, as coaches, what advice would you give to Rams and Ong playing against Durant and Mitchell?
Well, for Ong, I would mostly put that soft thing put it away for today. It's not going to be a useful shot for him. And playing against them at this point, like Ong did catch him there, I think you can't be afraid. You got to play what the game it is, but you want to keep the pace in a manageable way. Mm-hmm. And the key is to hold the net, like you said, hold the net and keep them working. And they can still beat you from the backcourt. It's not like they don't have amazing backcourt offense. Or Stephen Mitchell's got an amazing forehand, and he's developed a great drive off the screen as well. But it's your sort of lesser of two evils. And if they can find a way to keep hammering away at the slow spots on the court and get these guys to make a few bad choices and play enough defense.
Yeah, it's I think it's a tough task.
Yeah, no, it is.
But, I mean, as far as lobs go, you see right there, Andrew Ong. Can't believe he's down to his shirt sleeves here. I mean, the temperature is about 20 degrees. But how he's airing out those lobs and just going for hang time, making it as difficult as he can for Mitchell or Durant to time that overhead as it's falling from a higher point.
They're going to have to lob better than they have been so far. If Durant and Mitchell are going to be playing overheads from inside the service box consistently,
they got problems.
I don't think there's any world where they're going to win this match, right? If they don't start getting their lobs up deeper, right now they're just struggling to do that. And even on the non-pressure sets, they don't have the gauge yet. That's going to be step one in just improving their success rate. They are switching up the net here. They want Andrew Ong to play more of the overheads. And I can only design, they want him to be cutting a little, and they want Rams to be looking to cut off things at the net, make shutdown volleys. Nice spot there from Mitchell. Quick releases again, and he sticks him. He's been hit like 5 times in the first 4 or 5 games. Wow, they're just dealing. Look at that forehand that sets the thing up. And here's the thing. If you're Ong and Mitchell, Ong and Rams, don't you bail at that point? Why wouldn't you back off?
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe they're trying to keep the net.
Yeah, I get it. These guys are firing right now. No answers yet for Ong and Rams. Except let's hang around and hope they start missing a few balls.
Yeah.
Like that. There you go.
Maybe there's a chance.
See, there's a perfect place lob, right? You see Mitchell actually placing it right down the line exactly where he wants it to go. Looking for that opportunity. That's good overhead there from Rams.
You know one thing, Brad, watch the setup on all four players when that lob goes up, how quickly they're setting their hands, with the hands up, body turned. But I think it's a great thing, great teaching moment. The hands are always up. What a drive from Mitchell.
And then here's a spot where, if we're going to talk about winning and losing this match, how you're going to get into it, I think it's generally always been the case that the margin for winning against the Durant Mitchell is much smaller, meaning you can't afford to miss a drive like that if you're going to actually win this match. So it requires you, when you play these guys, when they're in top form, that you be extremely disciplined on the shots you go for. Like you say to yourself, okay, I can hit a screen drive, I can play my game, but I'm not going to hit one if the ball's below the net like that one was. And I'll only hit it if it's above the net, right? And you need to stay in that sort of disciplined spot because you can't afford to miss too many because they're putting away other balls. We're talking about finishing points. They can finish points, so they're winning that balance of points. And then if you're giving them the one behind it, you can't win. You're
swimming upstream.
Right. You can't win. And I'm sure you've played these matches like this too. I remember, back in the earlier, playing days when I was still competing a lot, playing a match against, Owana Ryer, things like that. And, I think we lost 7-6, 7-6. But he put away 10 balls.
Right.
I didn't put away 10 balls.
Yeah.
He did. On balance, I was playing and winning, but he's winning because he's ending things, right? I didn't have the margin of that. The differentiator. He's ending these things, and it's just one of the things you have to account for when you take into consideration how you're going to win this match, right?
Yeah, in the first 6 games, how many winning overheads have we seen from Durant and Mitchell?
If they're going to get 10, 6 or 7 winning overheads a set, I think there's a 0 chance, right?
Right.
They're going to have to lob better to stop that train. That's step 1, right? And then once you got that train back in the yard, let's deal with the forehands and the rest of it. You know what I mean? But that's sort of how it goes, right? Yeah, another finish right there. They're still in this game. They're hanging in there.
But the hard part was they hung in there until they didn't, right? Right? They hit.
Sure.
There were some really good lobs throughout the course of that point until there wasn't. And then there's the Johan Durant stepping up and hitting that cutter.
And you see him there set up for, and it looks like he's going to hit a hard one, and he's hit him 3 times already, and he's making you have that half a second of indecision. What's the ball going to do next, right?
Hesitation. And I think one of the, Andrew Ong is so good at extending points and grinding. But unfortunately, as good as he is at the grind, Johan Durant is better at breaking down the team in the backcourt, and breaking up that grind.
No, it's a great point, Mike. I mean, at a certain level, though, you can't say that, if he starts just driving everything, it's going to get better for him, because that won't.
Yeah.
Right? So what he's got to get better at is getting the part of the grind that matters, the lob deeper, get the points to a rhythm that are 20, 30, 40 balls where they're, and then he's going to try a shot from a little further back, and he's actually going to miss one.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? But we're not at that point. We're not there. We're hanging in the grind like a quarter of the way to the point they need to get to. But yeah, you make
It's all
a
easier
perfect
said.
point.
It's very easy
Sure.
to do it,
Absolutely.
to armchair quarterback it here, right?
No. I mean, of course, it's very hard to do. That's why this team has won multiple national championships. Why he's a Hall of Famer, right? Johan Durant. So, yeah, much easier to do.
But we see that they did not shift. They haven't switched back in the backcourt here.
I'm not sure I don't like this better. He's trying a little flip backhand there. All right, break point. It's unique that he sets up for a one-handed backhand drive. He's setting up in the middle. Most people will, crawl up the side wire a little bit, look for an aggressive forehand. He's actually setting up more on his backhand, like, go ahead, let it go to the screen. I'm going to hold the backhand drive and play that. It's unique. It's a different style.
He hits a two-hander off the deck, though, too, doesn't he? Does he?
I haven't seen it yet, but a little Afrikaans.
They're speaking. Yeah, they got to speak English if they're. It's not fair.
You think that you need to understand everything people are saying about you,
Well, right.
Mike? Because, hey, what are you saying about me? They were talking about you. Don't worry about it, right?
Yeah, they probably were. Calling me a joker or something.
Yeah, he's got the blitz there. Nice move. Punch the volley long. Yeah, the teams that have been able to beat Durant and Mitchell, get to this place where usually it's sort of a combo deal. Durant and Mitchell are not immune to making mistakes or pulling the trigger too soon. They can give you points. They will. All right. Right now they're playing actually pretty well, and very well, and they're not missing that much. But they can give you points at times, and usually it's a combination of they're going to give us a couple, and we've gotten this to a level where we've taken away most of their putaways. And that's when people can actually usually get ahead on them. And that's, like you said, not so simple to do.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that often.
And if these guys are back and practicing, when I spoke to Durant and Mitchell after last year's Nationals, they said, they're building our business, we're doing this and that. They went to the semis and things and finals. They didn't win any tournaments last year, which is unheard of, right?
Yeah, wow.
And they were like, yeah, we've already decided if we're playing this year, we're going to practice, right? Get out and hit some balls. Otherwise, what are we doing? And because they got to be sharp enough, because one of their weapons is the ability to finish these points.
Yeah.
And you got to be a little bit sharp to do it.
That's where they, I'm sure they're getting out there with the volley machine.
5 million balls. Great shot for Rams. He was looking for that. You could see the confidence that Mitchell has in the Durant forehand. He's standing up there as Durant's hitting it, hoping for a ball that pops up that he can blitz. That's a good undercut. Beautifully done. That was the exact right time for it. He held it. Gorgeous play. Textbook. Look at this. He's going to go hard low, and he's done 10 of those already. And then he gets right underneath 6 o'clock on the ball. Gorgeous ball there from Durant. He's only got to do that 7 or 8 more times, and then it's even.
Then it gets
Right,
back
then
to
it's about
right.
even up. Ooh, that's the ball Mitchell wants. He's set up right there. Went right in his wheelhouse. Low and flat, taking a little practice swing. All right, little rhythm here, Ong and Rams. And this is the sweet secret of success time. You'll find that they've made a couple of errors now, Durant and Mitchell, and the cut putaways. We end up with Ong having one and not Durant and Mitchell, right? And that's the secret to getting back or turning the tables on this. Oh, good soft overhead behind him. Ramsey's just waiting on them to try to flip one over to his forehand side. He's just kind of waiting for it. All right, so once again, I'm Brad Easterbrook with Mike Raleigh and players on the court. That's Andrew Ong hitting the ball, gray T-shirt, top of your screen, Billy Brahms. And on the bottom of your screen, Johan Durant in the blue T-shirt and his partner in the black vest, Stephen Mitchell. And if you just tuned in, you can keep it tuned here for the next 6-7 hours probably, Mike, because we got men's semis after the men's quarters and a whole host of things as well. So women's semifinals as well. And all the semis are being played today, because there's weather coming in tomorrow, and it's likely they're playing the finals in some heavy rains. But they only wanted to do one of them, so just is the way it goes. Outdoor sport, wintertime. Take your chances. And it's cold out there today, but it's a perfect day for playing paddle. I love this kind of day. Cold, peel off your layers. Under Ong in a T-shirt. It's probably like 25 out there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's out of the courts. Nice play. He's laughing. Durant with a quick drop, and then he
tried
sees
to bounce it up into him, wasn't he?
I used to actually bounce it down into the side screen and have it die, and he overplayed it by a margin. So 5-3 now, a little bit of a good effort here from Ong and Rams. Taking the next 2 games after getting 5-1, they've sort of, taken away some of those winners they were getting at the net, and we're getting a couple of errors now from Durant and Mitchell. So Stephen Mitchell now to see if he can serve out this first set.
The pace of these points is slowed down, right?
Yeah, that's good for Ong and Rams, right? Because you said they're going to have to grind to some degree to win this. They can't win in a boat race. You can't ever beat these guys. Really, I don't know that anyone actually can. If you just try to race them,
play
like
fast.
faster and faster, right? One of the few guys who plays them fully straight up was Juan Araya back in his day because he liked the volley exchanges. And he had some success with it. He did well, but not so simple a thing.
I think one of the hard things too is if you choose to play fast against Durant and Mitchell, it's almost like a Volkswagen racing a Porsche. It just They have that,
You're saying your equipment and your engine may not be as good as theirs, right? You're right. This is not a fair system.
Yeah, they've got a couple extra.
They
extra
have more
levels.
horsepower than you do, right? Yeah.
You might be able to keep with them for a little bit.
Yeah, this is not, unfortunately, stock car racing. So your skill set doesn't have to be exactly equal to your opponent's skill set. Yeah.
But you see some, you're starting to pay attention to where Mitchell and Durant are hitting the overheads from. They are in that straddling the service line. They're not inside moving forward in the service boxes.
Oh, that's a good ball there from Rams.
Left cord.
Yeah, nice shot, though. Slipped it inside. He was going back inside hip. Ooh. See Durant looking for a blitz there. Yeah, these guys do a great job of hitting the ball through the court longer, like Durant and Mitchell, and then they'll mix in the short stuff with it. Like you said, they're pushing you and they're pulling you around a little bit, ball to ball. Yeah, there's the carve. Well played there from Durant. Didn't let the spin bother him. These guys are all getting really good at dealing with spin.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think Durant was calling it out, but Mitchell made his own choice there. Look at that combo. And because he gets both players to bite, Rams bites in on that short ball too. There's no one back there covering. So they both go up. And Rams should be back here, but he's not because he wasn't sure. It was a mistake there defensively. Another cut finish there. Great play. It's going to be getting attacked, yeah. Get those lobs up. There we go. Again, a little short. Yeah, see, now we're at the place in a point where it's been played long enough. This is where Durant and Mitchell might get a little antsy, right? Try to finish a ball that's more difficult. This is the danger zone in a weird way for them. They've gotten this point now, Ong and Rams, to a place where, okay, let's keep plugging away. Let's keep plugging away.
And they're looking a little bit more comfortable in the backcourt. They being Rams and Ong.
Yep.
We're not seeing quite the same level of discomfort in the backcourt.
Yeah, and they're starting to get in the rhythm. This could be trouble. I'm surprised he didn't take out the hard overhead there. I'm shocked, actually. Maybe he's got some sort of rule, I don't hit somebody 5 times in a match, in a first set, unless I have been slighted, Oh. See, there it is, though. But that's the one they played long enough. He's just like, I'm cutting this thing.
Yeah, this point's over no matter what.
Right.
Either way.
Yeah, it's 30-all, and that's exactly the point they need to win once or twice. And this is a big moment here, getting this thing to 5-4, taking 3 games in a row. Huge for Ong and Rams. And then if they can get to that point in the backcourt, like you said, where this is happening and repeating once or twice, now they're in this match. Not only in it, they got a shot at winning it. I'm just surprised, like, if I'm him, I'd bring out some of those hard overheads again when the opportunity presents itself, just because it speeds it up to a degree, too. That might be useful, you know, for them.
Yeah, where they get the engagement. You know,
yeah, and on top of that, he did hit him like 3 or 4 times already. He might get it that way, too, right? They get the engagement, and he might hit him, right? That's a good look. You know, I'm just so good with his racket skills. He can move in and sort of, he has the one-hander, but he chops it down and he gets ready to blitz behind it. It's effective. That's a good ball right at the crease. Well played there from Ong. See, now this is a perfect point here for Rams and Ong.
Yes.
You know, they're playing long. They're getting a quick strike here and there from Rams. So they're keeping him a little honest at the net, but they're making him play overheads outside the service box. Quick little ball to bring him back in. Let's keep doing it until we kind of wear him out a little bit. Great lob.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it comes down to, you notice that they're no longer hitting the majority of their overheads inside the service boxes. They're somewhere near that service line. And, you know, and we got a match now.
Oh, yeah, right in here, 5-4, 3 games in a row now for Ong and Rams. Yeah, no, it's a big difference. That's step one. You know, now they just got to hold it out. So, and I imagine Durant and Mitchell, you know, really going to dial it in here, try to really close this thing out. I don't want to let this thing slip away, being up 5-1. And Ong and Rams have hit definitely some excellent, but what's really improved is their defense, right? More than anything else. It's not like they're just lighting them up with drive after drive and blitzing and putting it away. A good cut finisher from Ong a couple of points ago, but their defense is what's improved so much.
Yes.
Just saw Tommy Grigorovich just come by. He's like, he shrugs his shoulders. I think they had a tough one against Broderick and Christian. And I think he just was saying, it's ridiculous. They just, they didn't miss the ball against us. He wasn't sure what to do. So right now, I think he's heading to the showers. And Broderick and Christian, of all teams, if we're talking about teams that can play some defense,
boy,
they can bring that to another level. And they had a great win a couple of weeks ago. And look at that. That's a mic dropper. He hit that, and he just started walking away. He knew it was a winner. Even as fast as those guys were. Here comes. He's going long and deep, short lob, and just like that, boom. And the tables have turned. You know, the last 4 or 5 winners haven't come necessarily off of Durant and Mitchell's paddles.
Oh.
See, I love that. See, it's going to keep the paddle going. See, they got to keep adding that in. Not every time. Spot. Yeah, not every time. That's it from. And by the way, Rams, you know, take Durant Mitchell out. He's one of the best at playing fast, too. So he has that skill set. He can do that. You see, he held that ball. He saw that coming, and he just volleyed it right behind him. Yeah, that
And I
one's
think
too good.
that is something that that Mitchell doesn't get enough credit for, is that move he just made there.
Oh, he's a great blitzer, and he's worked it really well. He hits a hard, flat forehand early. Ooh, big miss there. A 30-all return. Ong and Rams closing in on 4 games in a row here. You can see Mitchell and Durant. Oh, trying to press in this game, trying to speed up the play. Yeah, that was kind of a chip forehand at Ong's
Durant
place
was
at the net.
expecting Ong to bail. I think he was.
It's a little bit surprising, as if like he was like, "How dare you stay there?"
Yeah.
He was shocked by it, right? You know, like I would next time I'm going to hit it harder
Yeah.
and into your chest, right? Because you're right, he didn't hit that strong a shot, and when Ong put it away, and that's a great hold there from Ong and Rams. 5-5 now.
As Dr. Detroit said, fortune favors the bold. Very bold for Ong to hang in on that one.
Yeah, but they've completely turned the tables, and here you go, Rams. Lighten it up in the transition game. Smart lob, too low. But like we said, you know, step one is the winners have dried up now for Durant and Mitchell, right? They're not getting the cut finishers as many. They've got maybe 1 or 2 since this thing started, right? Since this comeback started.
Mm-hmm.
So that was step one. They got another one here. So, and then they've done the rest of it really well. Cut down on the errors, play the offense when they needed to. The points are working in the way they want them to work for them. Give them the highest chance of success. That's that slippery drive that you were talking about. That's a good cut overhead. Yeah, smart bail there from Andrew Ong. Oh, too much cat and mouse that time. Smart lob there from Ong. He's really working that backhand off the screen now. It's unique because you don't see a guy work that shot as his favorite shot very often. A one-handed backhand off the screen. That's my primary weapon.
What a get from Ong.
Yeah, it was just wide. He was actually trying to thread the needle. Look at him chase that one down. That was gorgeous.
And not only did he get it, he avoided hitting the net.
Yeah, he's
or
quick.
impaling himself on the
More importantly. Oh, confusion there. They got it, though.
Those last couple speed-up overheads are kind of almost reminiscent of the Boston final. Was it Boston a couple years ago against Christian
Broderick, yeah.
Broderick. It was 2 hours for 3 sets. For the first 2 sets, sorry. Third set took like 12 minutes.
Yeah. No, and he definitely broke out. At a certain point, he broke out the hard overhead and consistently was using it, Durant. You know, they just sped up play because the other guys were just keeping it going too long. And when he did, it really affected the match. I think he hit him like 6 or 7 times. And a lot of people were like, well, you know, it's interesting to me how it's controversial. I mean, you know, hey, look, if a guy's just going to sit there, you know, and you want to try to get him to miss, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, like there's opportunities. He's not actively trying to hit you. It's just different. It's just a way of working the point.
Yeah, it's not malicious. It's, you know what? It's you're choosing to play one way, and which is you're going to slow things down to the point of, you know, an hour and a half set,
Right.
2 hour set. You know, he countered.
Yeah.
You know, it's a chess move.
It's
There you
all
go.
it
You're
is.
going to play this way. I'll play. This is my move.
But this is just in terms of the points they're playing now. This is exactly what win or lose. This is exactly what they need.
Yes.
They're in this match.
Yes.
If this continues on this way, they're in it. It's just going to be a great battle, and it's going to be a tough grind. They're going to have to execute some balls, but they're right here. I like this look for them in the backcourt. Now, Durant is in your area now. He plays in the Pittsburgh League. I mean, in the Chicago Leagues, but he started his play in the Pittsburgh area.
Yes, yes, that's correct.
And that's how he and Lee Bram's got to know each other so well. That's a perfect pace overhead right into the back, and it's kind of creeping along that side wire. Great shot here. Durant Mitchell, 4 games in a row for Ong and Rams, closing in on a game point. Oh. And he was leaning and totally looking for the poach the other direction. He just hooked that right around him.
Right into him, not around him.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, round where he was looking.
That's
right. That's a great shot there. All right, so this tide gets stemmed there. 4 games in a row for Hong and Rams before Durant and Mitchell get it to 6-5. See if they can break this thing to a breaker. It's been a great set. Counter strategy, you can see them getting a little better. Hong and Rams from that. It's a little bit of a shell shock start almost. You know? All right, so women's semifinals are starting to go on right now too. Burrish Elliott against Behrens and Morgan. Just had a good 3-setter that you called.
Yeah, and they got better as that match went along. It took them
Behrens
a little bit to find their footwork, but this would be a really good test for that team. I mean,
Burrish and Elliott's pretty good test for anybody, right? Yeah, given that they have lost 1 match this year, I think. Yeah. Ball was called out. All right. No, went for the offensive volley. Thought he saw an opportunity there. Cost him.
They're still, they haven't started getting serves yet, so.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, good.
That's pretty impressive.
Transition blitzing there and well played.
Flick, rolling topspin from here. Below the knees.
All right, they're pressing a little bit here. Pressing just a little. Tough to go for that dink. I've always, it's unique. He can absolutely do it. He has amazing hands, Johan Durant. And the dink is a useful shot, but I found that in certain patterns, like when he breaks it out more, things get worse, right? Because it's of the options he has, it's probably the 4th option, between blasting a forehand or something else, right? And I tend to think that when he breaks it out more, it doesn't always, they won the next point with a low dink, and that was out. Yeah, a little frustration goes for the hard one there. They're trying to finish it, trying to end it, but it's a point here for getting this thing even.
Taking it to a tiebreaker.
Quick errors, though.
Yeah.
Quick errors from Durant and Mitchell. We're in a breaker.
Definitely played in school, yeah. If she brings it up, I'll just say.
But you don't, when they're playing here, Mitchell and Durant, they still have to be able, even though the points have slowed down, and they still have to be able to play their attacking style and fast-paced when they get the right ball.
Yeah, no,
Right.
absolutely.
I mean, you can't say, okay, guys, they've slowed it down. You got to play to their speed. You got to play your game, but with the confines of doing it at the right time.
Right, so
Right.
you're not adding in some errors. And in that game there, it was 30-all, and there were a lot of fun, entertaining points, some good ones. And, at that moment, they played a transition point. He gets a ball that's a little easier, but he's still transitioning, and he goes for the big, hard winner, right? And he hits it wide again. And they'd missed the ball before, and then right there, that's a huge moment, right? Swings from 40-30 to 30. Instead of 30-40, it's 40-30, right? And then they just missed the next return, and now we're here at the breaker. So, when you play these shots that have a risk and you try to finish, you run the risk of missing a little bit. And that time he probably pulled the trigger a little too soon. And paddle's, a tough game. That's a good move. He sees that it's going to be a down-up overhead. Rams moves in, cuts it off. Great play.
I was surprised that Johan didn't cut that ball off.
But so was Mitchell. That's why he missed the volley, right? Because he thought he saw Johan move to the middle, which means he's going to stick the paddle out and volley it. But these points, exactly like Ong and Rams need at this point, and great adjustments and comeback from 5-1 down. And we had basically 10 finishing balls, in the first 6 games, and we've had maybe 1 or 2 from.
Yeah.
So you take away those points, and this is why we have it going the other way. In fact, all the momentum really with Ong and Rams at this point. That was close.
Yeah.
That also,
That was-
2 liners in a row there.
But those aren't the type of overheads that Ong and Rams want to be hitting. They don't want to have to hit lines
Yeah.
to stay right. No.
Yeah, not lines. I mean, I think they have to play their game too, and their cut overhead's been, he hasn't finished a lot, but it's been good. Mm-hmm. It's not hanging around in there. Okay, ball was just long. The answer now for Durant and Mitchell is how are they going to set up a point now, right? When they're not getting the cut finishers, how are they going to end these things, and where are they going to set them up from the backcourt? Oh, wow, that's such a good ball. And I love it when Aram starts dealing. He's so entertaining to watch. Aram's a very quick team.
It's a pretty entertaining point right here. A lot of action.
That's good long low cut. That's going to go just out. Beautifully done. These guys putting it back on. Durant and Mitchell putting a lot of pressure on them. And switching the backcourt there again for Marams and Ongs, and I like this better for them. Oh, he slides on the platform tennis court, which technically has they have this thing called a slip differential, which just means the ability to slide on the surface is almost non-existent, yet he's able to do it.
slip differential. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Let's.
It's kind of like a thing that's, it's sort of like a scale, like any type
measurement?
of scale that, allows you, and it's your ability, how slippery the surface is,
Okay.
right? Platform tennis courts have, very high or a negative type or low or whatever slip differential. Your ability to slide on is very, very, very low. It's very almost impossible because there's all the paint chips and things on it. Now, obviously, a newly surfaced court compared to one that's been around for 6 or 7 years might be a big difference, right? But so your ability to slide on a hard true tennis court is very high. On a hard tennis court, it exists more than it does on a platform tennis court, but not nearly the same as like on a hard true court. And this type of surface has, negative slip differential.
This is a big point in the match, clearly. 3-5.
Now, this has all been going for Ong and Rams. Once they got the lobs and got them out of the service box and the short balls are dried up, the putaways and the slams have all dried up, it's actually been a struggle for Durant and Mitchell to win the points. They haven't found a way to win them otherwise. And they're doing a good job, Ong and Rams, volleying in position and then transitioning back. They're not letting them just hammer away at them. They're going to sort of a mini. And Ong has put away that soft drive since he hit that first one, and he's hitting it a little, with that backhand. It's been effective, not in the way of like winning the points, but in a way of just pushing them back, pushing them out.
Honest.
Right.
Yep.
If anything, they're getting a little off balance. They're not dictating anything here anymore. And the score is telling that. Oh, it's a good look there for Ong and Rams. Exactly what they want. Just missed the drive. And you see Ong getting ready to blitz there.
It's a heck of a first volley.
Yeah, literally perfect. It's a decent return, and he sticks it past Mitchell. He doesn't just volley back. He sticks it at him. Now, Mitchell, at various times when he dials in his lob, he's a beautiful down-the-line lobber like that. And he'll look for the forehand in the middle. Right now, he's struggling to get it down the line. Unless he's doing that intentionally, that's a tough shot. That's too good. Bad shot.
From Rams.
It's a great volley from Rams, but he's not setting up the point with the lob, so he's waiting on it. Like, you're going to watch him see. He knows this is coming. He hits an offensive volley back there.
Yeah.
And it's just too good. It's set up. So set point here from 5-1 down. And if I'd bet you $1,000 at that time, you never would have taken the bet that Ong Rams are going to come back and win this set.
Odds. Even with odds.
You wouldn't have taken it, right? And yet here we are. 2 set points here for Ong and Rams, and well-deserved. They completely changed the tenor of this set. Right at the crease, good ball, nicely played. Yeah, and they're sticking with the strip. They're like, go ahead. At this point, they almost want them to try to hit a cut finisher, because this is the best way they're going to get their air. They're getting some points out of it. It's perfect. The tempo is exactly where Ong and Rams need it here. 6-4.
I mean, do you think this is where Durant and Mitchell should start playing that bigger, the
Like
bigger
going for
overheads?
more?
And
I don't know. In a weird way, I think they got to win one or two of these. Like, they haven't won any of these points that are going longer.
right,
They got to win one or two. And, until they do, anytime the point goes like this, you're going to favor Ong and Rams. So does that mean they have to start hitting more balls, or I don't know. No, they got that one.
There
Good.
we go.
The
All right.
shot clock went there on Rams, and he finally missed one. So one match point saved because they didn't make the error, right? He's going to rip that. Yeah. Now they're going to. Oh, tough dig.
Good get.
Yeah, right in the corner there, right on the line. Good stretch there from Durant. And we haven't seen, Steve Mitchell's got a great forehand, but it's been, non-existent almost, except for a point or two, right? We haven't seen that be, his return of serve is usually a huge part of his game. Lobbing down the line and setting up the quick forehand. And again, great play, but again, he's hitting that backhand with Rams looking for it in the net, and this is how they turn this set against him.
Yeah.
All right, beautifully done there. And we'll be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by CSM.
Want to see how Volley can transform training at your club? We've got a great offer for you. Gather 30 of your club friends and you'll get a free 30-day trial of Volley. Experience firsthand how Volley's trainer can help everyone improve. Increase reps and track your progress, all while training smarter. Don't miss out. Visit getvolley.com and unlock your club's full potential with a 30-day free trial.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time
Be careful what you wish for.
But you hate
At Corient, it's time for Corient.
All right, welcome back to the APTA Tour, and we're here at the Detroit Invitational in Birmingham, Michigan, with men's quarterfinal round action where Ong and Rams turned the tables on a 5-1 deficit to take the first set 7-6 against Durant and Mitchell. So amazing turnaround for those guys, Mike.
Boy, it very impressive. You looked at the first 6 games, and it was all Durant and Mitchell. I mean, from soup to nuts. We saw the cut overheads, the hard overheads, where Durant was, I think he had hit him with the overheads. He had hit the drop shots, the cutters, and it was like all of a sudden, flip the switch.
Yeah, the points got to be in a place that was manageable. They got the lobs a little deeper. Durant and Mitchell threw in a few errors. And not only that, they were able to not get the points where they wanted them to, but they were actually turning the tables at the end there. 2 of those points in that tiebreaker they made there was, in both cases, you had Mitchell actually hitting a screen drive right into Rams, who was sitting on the net. Almost the exact same thing we were talking about that they can't do for Durant and Mitchell, and they're turning the tables on him. So we're going to see what the answers are here for Durant and Mitchell. You're convinced you're going to be calling another 3-setter here. You got 2 in a row.
I think it's going to be another. I hope it's going to be a 3rd setter.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely. And there's a serve out there from Rams.
and I think you brought up the point that we got to get Stephen Mitchell working that lob down the line a little bit more.
Yeah, and setting up some points where they're getting the play to move to the middle. But when he's well there, he can cover the middle a little. And they just haven't had any success, actually, right now. Well, in the last few games, on either side of the ball, at the net or in the backcourt.
Yeah.
These guys have had the answers. They haven't been able to strike them from long. And Rams has had the answer at the net. He has stuff-volleyed them 3-4 times. And, he's got an incredible skill set in himself. He's been long been considered a player, you know, you're expecting in the semis or the finals. It hasn't happened yet. You know, he's been more kind of stuck here in the, you know, quarters and occasional semis, but his skill set is, you know, worthy of any place, right?
Yes.
You know, worthy of finals and worthy of, you know, winning tournaments. That's a little off his heels from the back, a little low, tough spot. And every answer they've had, you're right, you know, recently between moving up and in, playing the transition, see, that just isn't there yet for Mitchell. And it just goes to show you sort of the amazing way this game can sort of shift on a dime, Mike. You know, we've all been there, right? You're down 5-love, it doesn't mean anything. You're up 5-love, doesn't mean anything, right? It just means what's your next point going to be, right? You know, and how you're going to play. You're going to keep this thing in the same pocket it was.
Well, and it wasn't as if Ong and Rams all of a sudden made a major shift in strategy. What they did was they started, you know, it all kind of started with, they started lobbing better, right? And then, I mean, playing slow and hitting short lobs doesn't work. You're right. Yeah. So, I mean, that type of game really stems from lobbing well to create then the ability to play longer points.
And then once they got into these things, now it's sort of opened up the rest of the game.
Yes.
It's not like Rams and Ong aren't hitting balls. They're hitting balls. You know, they're driving things. Rams looking for a big forehand when he gets it. They're hitting the backhand chips low. Ong is playing his screen drive with his backhand. I don't think he's hit a single forehand, right? You know, he just loves that. That time he got him.
Good.
Extra
Volley.
stretch there. Here's it. Oh. But still, he got him to stretch there. He will miss one or two of those.
Yeah.
That was not simple right there. Who's calling help out there? Do you hear the help call? It's constantly in the background. Help.
It's a well-placed drive.
All right, good spot there. Good start there for Durant and Mitchell getting that game after what's got to be like, you know, they got done with that. So they got to be like, what happened there?
You're right.
We're at
We
5-1.
blinked and we were cruising.
Right. What did in fact happen? And there wasn't even a moment where you sensed a shift in their thought process or urgency or anything. It's like they went through the motions. It started going a little awry, and it was like, you know, it's not like they had a moment. We heard a little Afrikaans here and there, you know, but it wasn't like there was a moment where they said, okay, let's do this, that, or the other thing. And then, I feel, I still even to this moment, I feel like they probably were like, we just should have won that. I don't know how we didn't win that, right? You know, like, you know, and meanwhile, Ong and Rams, they're just continuing to focus and fight. That's good ball pace. I love it. He's perfected that one-handed drive. He's setting up for a one-handed screen drive. It's like the most different thing you've actually ever seen. A little slap drive there from, oh. Can he dig it?
Oh, yes,
he can do it. Oh, and he's right back in. He's standing inside the service. Like right around the service line, he's blitzing in crazy.
After all that craziness, we're just back to slow and steady.
Yeah, isn't that sort of the key to the game, though? And one of the big parts of it is it's this flurry of action, right, that
Durant
happens
again.
in the moment. Yeah, great shot there. The flurry of action. And when that's happening, and then you got to learn how to, okay, that's over. Let's settle it back
Yeah.
out. We got to get back to that where we can make it happen again. That was a terrific shot there. Randt. Yeah, gonna speed that up. That wasn't even that intentional other than I'm speeding this
Yes.
up. It wasn't like he was trying to peg somebody or he had a spot he was going for. He's like, I'm playing this in transition. And in a strange way, you called, like we were talking about in the beginning, you called their semifinal where they lost to, Regalado and Salazar in last year's, national championships. And you were thinking, hey, they should just go back. Slam it, speed it back, go
Yeah.
back, play some points from the backcourt. If you're struggling to get those finishing points, go ahead and make them work. You honestly work harder when you're usually at the net than you do in the backcourt, unless the other guy's spinning you around.
Right, yeah.
There's no reason not to go back every now and then. You can still develop some offense with your ground strokes and with your lob setups. This is the block lob.
Did you notice there, Brad, and Rams switched in the backcourt?
Yep. No, they're doing this, consistently now in the middle of the points. And Rams is working hard out there, but even that, it's getting colder out there now. I don't think it's going to be the kind of thing where it's affecting any play.
It's a great
Rams-
drive from Mong off
Yeah.
that back screen. I mean,
His backhand, outside of that first one that got put away, he's been effective with it. It's not winning a ton of points, but he won that one. And it's been very effective. And here's where the biggest issues are, just throwing in these errors. He's got a missed lob and a missed volley and a missed transition one. It's really, Durant and Mitchell just got to clean that stuff up for them.
yeah.
Yeah, and that game right there is just a perfect example. We said how they do give you some points, but he gave him 4 points. I mean, that drive on was decent, but
Right.
were you shocked? You were pretty shocked to see him miss that volley, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
see, it's just a missed volley, a missed overhead, a missed, and there's the game right there. And this is where it's going to be for Durant Mitchell. It's sort of living in this spot. Let's get back to no misses on there, and then we can start to do the rest of the things we do.
And I tell you, Rams, you noticed right there, much more settled. I jinxed him.
He's much more settled now.
Much
He's
more
diving,
settled, and
jumping
now
away
he's-
from the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because he takes it so quick and early, and it's like he was looking to move to the middle again.
Yeah.
He's so active. And they do say, I mean, one of the wise things to do is if a player is moving a lot, hit it at him more.
Hit it to where they were.
Hit it at him more. And there he's just pegging.
Yeah.
That's
They
it.
better watch out.
Yeah, so he just wants to dial this speed up. Quick lob volley. See, that's the danger right there. Mitchell's, He's hitting that one right in. And Rams is a very good offensive volley.
Yes.
His skill set is very similar in some ways to things that Durant can do. He just doesn't have quite the same kind of reach. It's a big point here. All right, another break point here. That's so good.
Wow.
He's going to hit it. Nope. See, and there's that Rams skill set that we were talking about. The Rams, he's hitting that drop volley. It's a beautiful shot. He's got the soft hands. He's got all the pieces. I'm still not sure why Mitchell's not like down up that down the line lob today. He's really a lot of them sort of almost scored. That's getting closer to where he wants it to be. But when he's dialed in, he can put it into right around that alley or that single sideline consistently. And I haven't seen that.
And it's such a tough, because then everything is being directed towards the middle of the court.
Right.
And you're going then right into Johan.
Yeah, it's either going to Johan or it's got a forehand in the middle that he can move to the ball, not inside to the ball. He can do that too, but
it's a great spot there.
There it is, and that's one of the first forehands we've seen from Mitchell that he set up there, which was huge for him there. I don't even know. Now you're wearing slippers? I mean, we're moving this thing to a new level here. He's got his blanket on. He's got slippers now.
It's a little cold in the booth. It's a little cold in the booth. I mean, this is the Cully's more clogs.
You know,
slippers.
how comfortable you are is making me uncomfortable. Right? It's like it's bizarre.
Can we tell the fans at home that you were the guy that was taking a nap here in the back of the booth? I mean, that wasn't me. I'm out here grinding.
That's medically necessary. My doctor says I need to nap every half hour. That's, so please, got to take my health seriously here.
That's right. It's more important than vitamins.
And I did find that listening to your commentary put me right to sleep.
Put you right to sleep, yeah.
Yeah, there's the read, and he gets it.
There he goes.
And there he gets it. That time there was the read. And here's the key. I mean, I think in a lot of cases in this stuff, and I don't know if you'd agree with this, but Durant and Mitchell are so good that there are times where they need to focus. Like it's like they just have to dial it into that next focus level. It's almost like they disappear, and then they can come back at any moment. But it's like he's got to just they got to dial in their focus like a half a degree here.
Because they did come out as focused as as they could be.
Yes,
right?
I agree with that. But in a weird way, I'm not even sure it helped him because it was a little bit like shooting fish in a barrel, meaning the other guys were a little like shell-shocked. They're hitting bad lobs. They're not playing good defense, right? So it's almost like they're just taking the shots that they can make with ease, right? So he just cut and finish it. He slams it at him. And now that they're having to, this has turned into a battle, it's maybe going to wake them up a little bit.
Turned into a pickle point there for a minute.
Yeah, a little slap drive there. It's called wide. All right, so that was called out, I guess. So, all right, called out and confirmed by the umpire. I think Rams was offering a let there, but the umpire made the call. Nice little push lobs there from Ong. He's trying to push him low and firm and looking for the down-up overhead that he can blitz on and spike. It's a good move. They're going into Durant, really tightening up that net, looking for the push drive. And so far, Ong and Rams are not baiting. They're not getting baited into it. They're continuing to lob, push this point back. And the idea is to get, there's Durant again looking for it. You see him get right up to the net. He wants the drop volley, wants the attacking offensive volley. They're doing a good job just pushing him back.
And the dangerous part about this is that this is the speed that Ong and Rams want to play.
Well, this is exactly what they want. And they haven't had they've hit like two drives here, 20 lobs, right? Which is good. And that's the ratio that's good. And see, even there, Rams is hitting enough of those kind of chip backhands where you know he might hit it, but he's hitting about 10 lobs per one. But the one he hits is kind of keeps you a little bit off balance. And they, you know, and at this point, Ong and Rams have won so many points that when these guys have tried to speed up the point, they're on the losing end of it these days.
Yeah.
So they've stopped it completely, and now they're going to have to win points like this. And when that happens, you know, they've taken the first thing that we said they have to take out of the play, and they've done it. So Ong and Rams are right now. Now it's just a battle. Ong and Rams, you know, their battle, you know, and Ong is no stranger to battles. You know, like he loves playing the 3-set matches, and he's been doing it for a while. But I like how he's delivered other parts to his game, the blitz, the one-handed backhand drive. You know, he's mixing it in, but right now he's just working it. Oh, I thought we'd bring the fast one in there.
Thought he was going to lay down the hammer.
Yeah, I like it when he uses it. I mean, you got to pick and choose your moments like everything. This is exactly the point Ong and Rams want. They're just going to wait for one strike, or they're just going to wait for Durant or Mitchell to do too much at one time, you know, to try to end it. And if they get that, that's what they're looking for. That's exactly what they're looking for. And they're battling. This is like a test of wills at this point. It's a huge game. Durant and Mitchell want to keep their break, get up 3-1. And each point's becoming this important now. Good ball for a cut finisher if you had the backhand cut finish, but I haven't really seen Mitchell do that many times. And just like...
I mean, I'm a little shocked that they haven't switched to get Johan on the left-hand side of the court be taking most of these overheads.
See, I think they're working a place where he's looking for the drop volley type of situation. You know, like for the volley put away.
Okay.
And that's what they're going to do it here. And if they want him to start attacking, he could, but they're doing this for that reason. You can see Durant every time. He's just all over. Now he backs off a little when he knows nothing's going to happen. But any moment, see, there he goes, right? He's looking, and that's what their play is at this point. They could switch, but they weren't really having success with that either. So they're trying this. It's like, and they're just not taking the bait. They're just hitting one more ball. You know, you were talking about, you know, mental discipline and things like that. This is exactly what we're seeing right here. And Durant and Mitchell are realizing it too. But they are not biting. Even Rams, he's not really looking to drive right now. He's just looking to play one more lob until he gets it to the point where it's like one more body shot, one more body shot. Then I'll take a hit when you least expect it. And both these teams know how big this point is.
I think the longest point on live stream was the Detroit Invitational 2 or 3 years ago. It was a 12-minute point, over 12-minute point.
Yeah, I was calling that one.
I don't.
The Lofgren brothers, yes. Randy and Will Lofgren.
They're battling each other. That was the great thing. I mean, how many minutes are we into this point? This has got to be 3-4 minutes long right now.
Yeah, what's great about that was it wasn't even like this. This, at least, they're still hitting kind of a deep overhead.
Yeah.
You know, it's into the court. He's doing a little something. Like in there was almost like tap, you know, baiting you to hit it. And the other guy just wouldn't take the bait. They wouldn't even take it. Like the easiest possible ball you could hit.
They wouldn't hit.
And they wouldn't hit it anyway, right? You know, and it was just like one after another. Like here, they're still pushing the ball through the court. That's not a bad overhead. It's landing deep. He's still got to play a screen, you know. But, you know, maybe they do set up Andrew wrong, like just here, boom, like this. Just give him like the softest ball imaginable. But even then, I don't think he'll take it. This is exactly where this point's going to be. And it would be actually, to me, it would be sort of like otherworldly if Durant and Mitchell were on one of these points. You know, that went 15 minutes. To imagine that they could do it for 15 minutes, you know. But like a lot of things in his Hall of Fame speech, when he gave it, he's like, you know, they said I couldn't play slow, so, you know, darn it, I played slow points, right? You know, like he's got it in him to be like, you know,
I can do it.
Sticking it to him, right? Yeah, tell me I can't do it, right? You know, he definitely has it in him to do whatever he wants to do. You tell me I can't, I'm going to do it. Right? That's the one time I'm going to. Right? He carves that one a little. Carve it again. That was a good opportunity ball. Oh, no. After that, 500 lobs later, and they lose the net. But that's okay. Now keep it going this way. Put the pressure back on them. Got to do one of these. Oh, you faked him. Good lob there from Mitchell, sneaking it up over wrong. But these guys are, he's just going soft at the creases. He's going to get one. The one thing I was surprised about, though, was they didn't go for creases or anything. And usually this is what I'm liking from Rams here. He's at the net. He's hitting for creases. He knows they're playing long, so just hit for creases. You know, hit him in there. And I didn't actually see that from Durant and Mitchell. Now, when you do go for a crease, it can speed the point up, that's for sure, because it can pop out a little bit. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
He's getting out of the way and volleying at the same time.
What a point.
And when you watch these points, if you had to bet on how it's going to end,
Right.
you just couldn't know, right? And shocker,
Yes.
right? 5 to 7 minutes later, shocker, deuce. And there you go. And that's the mental strength you need sometimes to pull it out of a paddle match, and that's what's so tough. Sneaky drive there. See, and I'm surprised we haven't seen a little more of this today, where Durant is in the ad court, you know, because his move up the side wire is exceptional. Now, Mitchell has a good one too, but he hasn't really been effective with the lob drive combination yet. And I would like to see a little bit more of this move in the backcourt here and there. Oh! He went for a cut drop on that.
On the bounce.
Yeah. God, I want that one back because it's hard to generate enough pace there when you're not getting the action of the ball falling into your paddle.
So much time, too, for your opponent to react to it.
You know what's going to be amazing about if we go back and we say, you know, Durant and Mitchell won this match by slowing it down and showing they could slow it all down. And it may be that's the case.
There they go, switching in the backcourt.
Yeah, and I love it. That's a good look there. Mitchell wasn't ready to climb up the wire, and there you got it. Now they slowed it down, and who's the one making the mental errors, right?
Yeah.
Flipped right back over there to Rams. 3-1 hold, Durant Mitchell, all hinged on that huge 30-40 point where they just stood there and said, you're going to lob it?
I can't
I'm
wait
just going to hit it back.
see how long that point was.
I don't think it was too bad. Maybe like 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah.
Having experienced the other one, yeah.
That was nothing, right?
It was nothing. Oh, look at that shot. Slippery. Look at, he pushes us in there. He thinks he's safe, long and deep, and he shoves it off the screen. Wow. That was incredible. And there's the backcourt switch again. Smart. And that's right into the Mitchell
I like it.
forehand.
Right.
And it's hard to quantify these things, but to a degree, it feels like the fact that they won that one massive point is leading to all these other quick points here, right? You know what I mean? Like it's whoever won that is getting some momentum push. And this is a huge shift now for Durant and Mitchell. No, that time he was hitting the same drive he snuck it by him with before. Not that time. Oh, what a
Great
move.
blitz.
4-1 now.
Boy, oh boy.
So tell us about our folks from Corient there,
yeah,
Michael.
time to play some bills here. Corient is the official wealth sponsor of the APTA's 2024-25 season. Corient is a free, fee-only wealth manager who puts their clients at the center of everything they do. Learn more at corient.com.
It's funny how we just played 2 games in the amount of time that 1 point took. And all it took was that 1 point to get us to that point where all of a sudden it kind of slips and moves really fast. And that and the switch in the backcourt, very smart maneuver there for Durant and Mitchell. I'm surprised to see it take so long to do it.
Yeah.
But I really think even when it was all going wrong for them in that first set, that they thought they were just going to win it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and now, like
we don't need to
we didn't
change,
win
we
it.
don't need
Yeah,
to-
we just think we're going to win it. Now you can see it's very rare for them to play a point like that, even where they just mentally say, "All right, you're not getting us this one," but you got to do it sometimes. Those are the break points. If you're not able to attack,
Boy, that Rahm's drive down the line, that's a real, he holds it, and he doesn't overhit it. It's more just placement over,
yeah,
you know.
it's just kind of an early slap, and he's very good at holding it here, and he kind of can push his paddle underneath the ball or sort of slap over it in one of these motion. Like a lot of great players, they can do it from an economical place, take a lot of swing. The question is, in that big long point that Durant and Mitchell won, did Ong and Rams do anything wrong? I don't think so. You know, they just didn't win it, and it was strange. You know, he got beat by a three-quarter pace backhand drive from Durant, and it's, you know, and that's how they ended up losing that point.
That's usually the way it seems to go. The longer the point, it's kind of the sillier the ending. You know,
Right.
they're rarely won on like fantastic shots. It's usually on something kind of wonky. And so we've seen on both sides of the net, Rams and Wagner have flipped in the backcourt. And the same thing has happened with Durant and Mitchell.
Oh, big. He lets it go. He thinks it might be wide. And the thing sneaks right on the line. All right. It's a huge game here, although they did really well from 5-1 down last time.
Yeah.
So
I almost would
why
tank
wouldn't they
this
want to
game.
go? Yeah, so let's get to 5-1. That's our sweet spot. All right? Let's get to 5-1 down. That's where we
Just
make our
tank it.
best moves.
We make our move at 5-1.
Right. 4-2 seems a little too easy. I tell you, Rams is doing an amazing job. He knows at this point Durant's not coming in, so he's just hitting a three-quarter roller. He's not giving him the screen drive back,
Yeah.
you know, on it. So they're able to hold that net. Slap shot forehand. He doesn't roll it at all.
And I think if he's going with that pace, he's got to go right at someone.
Yeah, I think that was his idea. Just, you know,
Just slippery.
we're a lot larger than On.
Yeah.
You know, he can hit it at us. Although he has hit him like 3 times. He did hit both of these guys like 3 times. But that time he's right on the ball going out. See, weirdly, I think this is a big game, actually, for Durant and Mitchell. They want to close something out with some good play here. Thinking blitz does not work there. Ong is on it and sticks it right back at Durant. Oh, cut shot from deep in the court there for Durant. And this is a good moment here for Ong and Rams. These swings are coming quickly in this set. Great stick on that return. right there. 2 quick games and just mistakes again from Durant and Mitchell. They played that one point where they decided not to miss, and then a bunch of balls were missing. I mean, I can't say in that game that Ong and Rams are like just hit these one amazing shot after another.
Yeah,
it's just an error, you know, just errors. And some of them were kind of like just like trying to hit these little slippery shots. They're not like, it's not like you're setting up the big banger or the big forehand. We're just slipping around, and this is where the mental toughness of the game comes in.
Well, and, you know, there's got to be a bit of a lack of sharpness. I mean, this is the first tournament that Durant and Mitchell have played all season.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
They were going to be out for Chicago, apparently, but they just couldn't make it. You know, something come up. And, you know, but I think they are playing all the Grand Prix. We'll see. But you're right. You know, first day back to competition.
boy, that's some good hands.
Yeah, great hands. Good cover from Ong, and he just couldn't come up with that one. Just right near the side screen. Wasn't exactly sure when to pull the trigger on his contact.
So, Brad, the other kind of going through the other quarterfinal matches, Nunez and Salazar, 1, 2, and 5 over Dobic and Enrique. Broderick Christian over Grigorovich and Stojic.
Yep.
How did I do there? Did I do that okay? Stojic?
It's good with me, Mike.
Yeah, okay. 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And McNerney and Morgan, 6-2, 4-6, 6-love over Murphy and Schneider.
Hey, good for Murphy Schneider getting that second set there.
Yeah.
Nice job.
So the other, the semifinals have been set on the other side, and then Nunez and Salazar is waiting for the winner of this.
And that's coming on, you know, right after we got a women's semi on right now, so that'll be on right after this stuff. And this one is just going to go the distance, I feel. But we'll see here. I mean, Ong and Rams, they're doing this exactly the way they need to. This is a perfect textbook way of how you can win this match. They're not getting baited into certain things. We saw an entire point where Durant was looking to get a drop volley or an attacking volley, and they didn't give him one. You know, outside of those first 6 games, how many putaways have they had, Durant and Mitchell? You know, at the net, how many putaways?
That's a great question. I think there was one other, boy.
Point is, it's not that many. There have been a few.
Yeah.
There haven't been none. But it was like 10, and now there's like 1 or 2, right?
Yeah.
So you take away those 7, 8 points, you know, that's a lot. Now they got to make those up with longer points, playing in more disciplined points. And quite frankly, they're missing too many balls, you know, like even on the other side of it when they're in the backcourt.
Well, it's the points that they're now winning are costing them more. They're having to work harder.
Yeah.
Right? And then you throw in, well, they're having to mentally be so much more invested in. And like Andrew Ong, that was the first look that Durant has had off of that of Ong's drive off the back.
He's looking again. He's looking again now. Yeah, that was a good play. But he did it right because Durant wasn't really looking for it that time. So it worked out. They're starting to play a cat and mouse game, which is exactly what Ong wants.
They're back to not. They haven't switched yet.
Well, it's sort of we're at this stage where they're actually trading these little misses. Yeah. Like, you know, it's the same miss Durant made in the last game. This time it's the Rams, though. So then now it's a 40-love game. A couple of misses here, right? But it's good. If the other team you know, Rams and Ong did is they got so good at not missing for a while that the only misses that were out there actually were Durant and Mitchell's, right? Now, if they can keep that up, they're going to win this match. That's a good spot there. And they got to deal with this switch in the backcourt a little. Now that Durant's over there, they got to watch out for certain overheads. All right, 5-3 now.
Boy, that is a tough 1-2 combination.
Yeah, a great dipper there. Wasn't even hard, but he's got him volleying up. Little heavy roller there. He goes hard. And he was trying to, that one's supposed to be more in his body frame because he knows if he hits it that hard and he doesn't get him, he was hoping that Ong would get in his frame or he'd try to volley it. Smartly, Ong does not. Gets an easy screen drive back. Oh. Puts a little extra push on that one. All right, 2 points from the second set. Mr. 3 setter, the guy is a gamer, Mike Raleigh, here in the booth. He can take whatever they dish out. 3 sets,
go.
4 sets, bring it.
Giving the people what they want, you know, it's just more paddle.
Oh, that's a look. It was a little bit of a non-committal forehand to me. He didn't like kind of move into it. Yeah, he didn't step up and hit it a little. Maybe a little afterthought. I mean, it's a good look. I can't say it's not. That's another 2 blitz points here. It's a good way to make it up. They have a great blitz game. All right.
I'd run it back again. Let's see that blitz again. Mitchell, get in there.
2 set points here for Durant and Mitchell. Here's the switch in the backcourt. And that's the one, more intentional with a forward move, and that is game and set for Durant and Mitchell, 6-3. And we will be right back in just a moment here at the Detroit Grand Prix, presented by CSM Media.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.
Want to see how Volley can transform training at your club? We've got a great offer for you. Gather 30 of your club friends and you'll get a free 30-day trial of Volley. Experience firsthand how Volley's trainer can help everyone improve. Increase reps and track your progress, all while training smarter. Don't miss out. Visit getvolley.com and unlock your club's full potential with a 30-day free trial.
All right, welcome back to the APTA Tour. We're here at the Detroit Invitational in Birmingham, Michigan, where Durant and Mitchell, our 3 seeds, have just taken the second set, 6-3 off of Ong and Randt, and showed some amazing discipline on a couple of points there. And a crucial moment in that set, down, well, they were up 2-1, but it was 30-40, and they managed to play that long 5-minute point, and it sort of turned the tide in the set. They got up 4-1, and, you know, basically rode it out to the end there.
Yeah, that was that what do they call it, the Bud Light turning point?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, sure. All right, we can make it the Volley or Corient turning point of the game.
It the Volley Corient.
Volley Corient turning point of the match.
There we go.
Right. That's it. But the all right, so Johan Durant serve. Philippe Rams returning. And I'm Brad Easterbrook alongside Mike Raleigh. And men's quarterfinal action. And again, stay tuned after this. The women's semifinal, the other one is actually going on another court already, and we're going to be bringing that to you right after this is over. And then we're going to have men's semifinals after that. And then I might get to dinner at 10.
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
something like that, Mike. And I don't see the set going that different. Like, I don't see it like all of a sudden like Durant and Mitchell are going to be lighting this thing up with the cutters and finishing the points. I think this is going to be work for these guys. And Ong and Ram should be extremely happy. This is exactly the place they want it to be. Don't give them errors. Don't give them the things. They've been getting enough errors out of Durant and Mitchell. It's really going to be who cleans those things up and who can execute a ball or two. And if we can start to see, that's a hell of a lob there. Yeah, Mitchell getting involved in his action, be able to control some points with lobs to get that forehand in there. He finished out that second set with that. I think that'll be a game changer. And I don't mind him going, but that's not the one. And that's not how they're going to win that match, right?
A little bit off the net.
Yep, that's not the one for Ong and Rams. And that's, I don't see them winning this match by hitting more cutters than Durant and Mitchell either.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't mind him cut finishing something. He's got it. He can do it, but it's going to be discipline on the right ball for these guys, and whoever makes a little less errors.
Yeah, and I would say I wouldn't make any major changes if I'm Ong and Rams. Stay the course. They're doing a great job of playing, extending these points. There we go with the switch in the backcourt. Get Rams in the ad side. Nasty little overhead from Mitchell. You know it's got to be good to get to draw an error from Ong on the screen. Takes us to 30-15 in this first game of the third set. Haven't seen that in a while, and I think it was the right time. Andrew Ong did everything he could to get out of the way and then track that down. And I really like how we see Mitchell coming out of that deuce side. This new look has changed a little bit of the game in the sense that he's getting his forehand involved now with that cross-court lob. Brad, you notice that lob from Mitchell out of the deuce side now, where he's lobbing it cross court, and it's already changed the complexion of the points.
And we got two balls in this game where, you know, we got a couple of misses there out of Rams, and like we said, I don't think it's going to be about the amount of winners somebody makes.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
This set's going to be about who cleans it up the most, and it's definitely made a difference. Once Durant and Mitchell started switching in the backcourt, it's clearly made a difference in how they're able to develop some off-court, some backcourt offense. And Mitchell, much more success now lobbing cross-court, inside out. He was struggling with the down-the-line lob in the one before, and he wasn't setting up that forehand in the middle. It's just opening things up for them a little in the backcourt.
Well, I think if you really are paying attention to, an opportunity to learn here, you'll see, when he does lob that ball to the cross court, you'll see him take a giant step to his left to bring that forehand into play a lot more when they're trying to dump to the middle.
Great transition ball there from Rams, and kind of an open court, and Durant, I think he just saw Ong starting to blitz there, and he just nets it. It's a good opportunity ball. Oh, a couple of blitzes, but it wasn't really a blitz. It was more like standing in the center there. I'm not closing in. I'm going to pick away at you. I'd rather see him try to go in and finish that one. Nice dig there from Rams.
Wouldn't you say the crew at CSM Media is? I mean, they're just crushing it.
They are
Just,
crushing
I mean, they're
it.
professionals.
And they're well
Aren't
fed.
they?
Hey, you see Sean with a plate of cookies there.
They're professionals.
They are professionals, I have to say. And I've only heard, good things from the employees about their boss, Matt. Ooh, sharp backhand there from Rams. Good volley. They're going high lob here, slowing this down to a crawl. Higher lobs.
Yeah, it's a high lob when it's leaving
Leaves the screen.
leaves the leaving the stream there. I mean, that height does two things. One, we generally say height gets you better depth, but it also gives the backcourt team much more time. The hang time, it's like a punt. Well, you get the coverage.
Yeah.
It gives them time to kind of gain some more balance.
Yeah, it gives them time to get set in the backcourt, allows you to play some better defense. Now, the low lob can do other things. Steal time. It forces a guy to take a ball at a higher contact point because it's getting to him quicker. And you can set up a blitz with it or a down-up spike. But the high lob is kind of how you make your bread and butter of just, staying in the points, and getting back into position. If you lob to the service line and you get back to your home base before your opponent's hitting the ball, there's very little they can do to you if you have any screen ability, to keep playing the ball. Very little. And even at this level, it's still true, even with the best players in the world. And Arnold Rams slowing this point down to exactly what they need, and they got the first 2 points in this game. Just being smart about it. Oh, still think I'm okay with him hitting that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right that it's not the wrong shot. He wasn't even overhitting it. Just a slight miss on the height there, and clips the top of the net, and it doesn't fall over.
That's going to be tough. Right back into the net. Now, see, the difference between hitting him that one and the one before is just how set he is at the net and where he sees it coming.
Yeah.
To me, I have no problem with him hitting shots that he's set up to hit. Right? It's just the ones where he's in transition, and all of a sudden he's just going to last second finish it. That one was huge. What a great ball. And that's a good hold there. Huge for Arnold Rams. Don't get behind the break early. Durant's still looking for those things. He's still looking for that one opportunity. They're doing such a good job not giving it to him. Great lob, easily transitioned back with no pressure or feeling of loss. Just a good lob goes up. Just go back, lob it up, play from the backcourt. Oh, he's trying to hit a down-up overhead mini waterfall from the service line behind. Pays the price. That's in the way.
Brad, I'm interested to find how or why. I mean, Mitchell's overheads. He's no slouch hitting overheads, right? But we're not seeing Durant getting that, him roaming and dropping off of any back screen drives.
Yeah, he's not
from
getting that thing he's looking for, the drop shot
So
and
at
other
what
things.
point? Yeah, at what point you say, okay, it's not there. Let's get him involved in the majority of the overheads, making a switch and changing it up.
My best answer to that is maybe this is a better way to roll it, meaning like maybe Mitchell's, the way they want to play it is actually now, let's just play.
Yeah.
Wait for this one up. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. And maybe Mitchell's tolerance for just pushing the ball back is greater than
higher,
Durant's.
yeah.
He's not gonna screw one up by trying it too soon, right?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, and that's the only thing, really that can happen. I mean, Mitchell can hit rollers. He's got a good snap roller. He can put offense. He can even hit a cut finisher. Maybe not to the degree that Durant and Mitchell can, but he can do it all. But when they play this style, he's got the better tolerance for
His
it.
tolerance is higher
Yeah.
for the slow.
And that's what they were looking
love
for,
it.
but he got him reaching, and now it's 30 all. So it's the one shot they wanted, and when they had a sort of a shot at it, they didn't get it. So great shot there from Ong, putting a little extra on it. See, now that's not even that good, right? Because that one came flying off. It's a bad cut that time from Durant, and ooh. Well, if there is a knock, Ram's skill set, like we said, it's as good as anyone's,
Yes,
right?
yes.
If there's a knock, that's the only thing that would keep him away from, winning this match. Just 2 or 3 errors like that. He cut finish 1-2 balls ago. That's really it. And sometimes
And like
that's just the difference.
That error there was not an error of him attempting that was of, a cut overhead, but not, he wasn't going for a winner. That was more of a reset variety, a neutral overhead. And just like, again, we're talking.
Yeah, it's just a loose error.
Loose
We'll
error,
just say
yeah.
just a loose error, whatever it is. Whether he's trying to attack there or go in there, it's really just the loose error here and there, which is sort of what Regalado and Salazar have been motoring through the competition up until they ran into Broderick and Christian in the last tournament. And you were calling that one, right?
Yeah, I didn't call the
Or
final.
watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it definitely. I was glued to my to my couch watching that match. It was Broderick and Christian did a great job on really bringing things to their speed.
Right. And Regalado and Salazar got frustrated with how
Yes.
slow they brought it to, right?
Yep,
The
yep.
first set was 6-1, but I heard it was like 2.5 hours. I haven't seen it yet. And so the point is, like, there is that element of paddle that you have to be ready to deal with when it appears. You can try to play fast, but if you're
Right.
spraying errors all over the place, there's no other options but to slow it down, and stay in a few more points until you get an opportunity. All right. I think he thought that was good, but called out by Andrew Ong. Deuce. A little moment here. These guys, like we said, this is going to be a slow set. We're not seeing any cut finishers. We saw one, by one, but the amount of errors is weighing in as much as the, ones
the
you're
cut
making.
winners, yeah.
All right.
Hear the frustration from Ong. That's exactly the ball he's looking for. Sneaking up that side screen on the deuce side. Boy, they just wore him down there. Got an uncharacteristic drive error from Andrew Ong.
Yeah, he he doesn't go for a ton, and he's been uber consistent with that backhand. I don't think he's missed one.
Yeah, and, we just see two forehand.
Look, at this point, we got 3 games in this third set, and it's sort of playing out as we talked about. We're not talking about the winners everybody's hitting. We're talking about the errors they made, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about here. These guys are going to battle it out here, and that's sort of paddle in a nutshell in a lot of cases. It's not about the winners; it's about the mistakes you make. But if you bring the right offense and you will have opportunities to force your opponents into errors. But the points have become so important now that there's not a lot of freebies, meaning, you got to go for your shots and make the right ones. So the key is when you dial into this type of sort of mental state, it's waiting for that right ball, right? And there are certain times where you're going to be like, all right, I got zero problem. Like a few games ago, Rams missed a forehand in the top of the net. But absolutely, hit the ball, right?
Yeah.
It's just a question of whether you made it at the right time and it was the right shot. That's what you can live with.
Oh, man, a little lucky luck cord there.
Yeah, big shot there. These big moments because
Well, you see you can't stop somebody from having like a lucky luck cord there. But the point before, Rams had an overhead. He just kind of overjuiced and missed it long.
right.
And he wasn't hitting necessarily an offensive shot. It was
Well, he was pushing it long through the court. He wasn't
Right.
just pushing it back. He was
Right.
trying to hit that ball long and low and through Mitchell a little bit. So he was going for something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, was it a bad choice? No. But was it the number one choice? That's the question, right? Right. That's really what I'm saying. Not so much like that's out of bounds, that shot. That's ridiculous that he went for that.
Right.
Not at all. Not at all. That's not the case. I'm saying when a match gets to this point, it's about making the right choice at the right time. And then, generally speaking, that's the team that's going to win this thing.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Boy, that's some good defense right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Andrew Ong bailed. Good cover from Philippe.
There you go,
frustration.
missing these volleys, right?
Again, I think that's partly the pressure of if it's any short at all, they're going to step up and drive it, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It's got to be deep, but not perfect.
Yeah, but he's exactly right. It's just one of these things where it's right there, and this is what it's going to really come down to. Now, they made a big comeback in that first set from 5-1 down. But I feel like at this point, they can't afford to get too much separation here. You know, like, because it's different. I still believe, you know, that Durant and Mitchell were surprised they lost that first set. Like, you know, I think there's no way they're going to catch them, like, a little, like, lax. It's possible, but you understand what I'm talking about?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
they can't have too much separation here. They got to stay close. I'd like to, you know, obviously I'd like to see them keep it at 3-2, but the point is, though, now's the time. There is no time for a lapse here.
Yeah.
And whatever time there was, it's extinguished by being down 3-1.
It's like you have that, you know, it's a foot race, or they're trying to keep it pace.
Right.
And they only have so many of those charges left in them, and I think they've spent their
great take from Andrew Ong. Oh, too bad they couldn't keep that going. You got to see that thing. That's off camera, this dig. But it's a sick cut.
That was a good dig right there, but watch this one. That thing was behind him and below.
Wow,
that's a signature Ong right there.
A signature Ong. I kind of like that.
I mean,
the signature Ong. And this movement of just putting Mitchell into the deuce has just been all the difference.
Yeah, I agree 100%. He is doing a much. He's hurting him much more with the, you know, the lob drive combo, where he wasn't able to get that, you know, his massive forehand involved as much from the ad side.
Big game here for Ong and Rams. And let's see if they can actually hang in here. It's a killer. That's the killer.
Well,
see,
you know,
the ball's lower than the net. This is where I'm going to make. It's all nitpicking at this point, right?
Sure, sure. But you look at the difference between, you know, winning and losing this match, or decisions like that.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
it's
right.
exactly what I'm saying. That's why I'm going to nitpick on that ball's lower than the net. You got to play your best option, not any option.
And I think that, you know, it's not that.
And that honestly goes for Durant and Mitchell at this point.
Sure.
You know, I mean, it doesn't go for one team or anybody out there. It's just them. You know, all these guys. All right, 4-1 now. Hole for Ong and Rams.
Are you looking to lower your PTI, Brad?
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay, well, the secret's out. Early adopters are already leveling up with Volley's AI-powered trainers, and they're leaving the competition behind. Don't get left in the dust. Download Volley now at www.getvolley.com or search Volley Racket in your app store. Don't get left in the dust, whatever you do.
Don't get left in the dust.
You know?
You heard it here from Master Professional, Mike Raleigh.
It's good stuff. That Volley machine is. If anybody is not a believer in it yet, they are offering that.
No, and if anybody
30
has
of your friends,
30-day free trial, absolutely, but 100% a great machine. And anyone with a viewpoint of an old ball machine, it's light years from that.
Yeah, and I have to say the level of support. I mean, we're lucky enough to be kind of in Volley's backyard, right? But like John, the founder of Volley and the brains behind it, he was over at Exmoor changing out a screw.
Right.
The other day, it hadn't failed, but he said, we found that this type of screw will fail, and he was there changing it out.
These guys, they've lost their way, and they've lost track of how they want to be playing these points a little now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just, you don't close in on that volley. You bail, and you say, I'm going to play this another 40 balls afterward.
Yeah, what is jump in that lake behind him?
You don't want to stand there and let him smash it at you like that. We want to play the longer point now, and we're starting to get caught into a trap here. Ooh. He's looking back at the camera.
Cal,
That was
what
great.
was he saying to you, huh?
I think he's 100% our
blamed you,
producer,
Cal.
Cal's Ford.
Let's see.
Look at he's going back. Cal,
He said,
I can't
Cal,
believe
are you
that.
kidding me? How can you do that?
Oh, this is going to be a tough
Oh,
day.
he's going to look back too. Watch this. Cal, it's your fault again.
Well, it works both ways. See, there, that was a quick one into the offensive volley there. Great shot there from Rams. See if we see the switch in the backcourt. Not yet. It's been really good for them to switch in the backcourt. Here it comes. Durant Mitchell just changing the look. Oh, beautiful slow ball to get a few points in a row. That's 3 in a row there for Ong and Rams. This was a must-win game for them. It's a big moment. Oh, see, to me, this is like where Durant Mitchell get up love 30, then they get a little fancy.
You better, yep.
They get a little fancy with the spices there. And
Too much spice.
4-2. It's like just solid first volley. Mitchell, he's that still, the serve just, it's kind of hanging there. But plenty, there's the two-hander that you were
See the
talking
two,
about.
see?
I have not seen it today, and that was our one moment. Oh, that's just
Wow.
a big ball.
Love it. Yes.
Oh.
Wow. Put that in there. It's shots of the year. 1-2 combo right there.
Yeah, he does it here, and Anna Zabori does about 10 a match.
Right, right.
She does about 10 a match.
Dare to dream.
Yes.
Dare to be Zabori. Everybody wants to be Zabori. That's right.
And that was a heck of a shot, though, and a great finish there from Durant.
Yeah. Oh,
All right, it's working here.
that's statement level right there. He hits one cutter into the snowboard and then hits the overhead into the crease for a winner.
Oh, big turnaround shot there from Mitchell. He's there, but he handcuffs him. He held it and kind of quick pace on it. Just ate him up a little, Rams.
Another two-hander. Did you see it?
Yeah, it's amazing. He's breaking it out. I love it. Oh, that's so sneaky. So good. And we talked about before, a guy who's looking to poach a lot, you got to hit at him a little bit. And you get it behind him like that. It's a good play.
Yep.
Great cover there. Sinking up the side.
Oh, that was butter.
Perfect. And that
That-
is a perfect ball with perfect. He's set. He's got him out of position. A bad lob here. And he's got a hold. And it's the exact right one to do it on. And perfectly executed. I love it. Again, though, I'm going to go to it, slow it down a little, wait
Yeah,
for the right
yeah, we're
one. I'm
getting
not
away
saying he
from-
can't win that. They're getting away from what it was.
So you got to dance with the date that brung you, right? You getting slightly away from the shots that in the choices that they were making earlier. But that's the hard thing is not only do you have to do it, you've got to do it over the course of every shot and every point, but you have to do it over the course of, I don't know how long we've been doing this match, but it's 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours, Cal?
To be able to sustain, thanks, Cal, to be able to sustain that level of focus.
Well, that's the whole point, right? And it's about keeping these windows in, and that's what we talk about momentum so much. And momentum, or we talk about teams who go a person, or not even just teams, but sometimes an individual goes off the rails,
Yeah.
right? And you can clear out and lose 2-3 games in 30 in a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And you could play one game for a good 20 minutes, depending on how dialed in you are, or whether you go off the rails and all that stuff, right? And that's really what it, in a lot of cases, what it comes down to.
And I think one of the things that I've talked a lot about on the streams that I find so impressive of the top players, but in lately it's been Regalado and Salazar, that when they go south, or not south, but things start to go bad. They're playing some loose points. They play loose points. They don't play loose games.
Right.
You know, and that is, I think, a major differentiator between the good and the great.
Oh, and that's why they've been motoring through the competition until they finally came up against somebody who decided, whatever you're going to do, I'm going to do it longer. One more longer, right? You know, I'm going to do it longer. And that's where they got frustrated on the other side. And you could even see it in some of the great matches. I was able to call we have Weston Fraser not here this week, but one of the top teams in the country, Weston Fraser. And it was a great match. It was like 7-5, 7-6 kind of thing. But you could see West going for more on his drive than he did in the match before because he wasn't able to hurt them as much.
Right.
So he decided, I got to do more with it.
Right.
And then he started making errors, and it's a 7-5, 7-6 match, and that's the difference, right? And, you know, so he got away from the things that he knows he can do and tried to do more, and he started making some mistakes. All right, still hanging around here. 40 love here for Ong and Rams.
Not quite making the switch yet.
It'll come, though. That's out. Oh, I thought it was out. It's a great shot there. Nice low cutter. Eating them up in the back screen.
Oh,
All right. Ong and Rams hanging in here. Let's dial it in for the perfect game, the game they want to play. No room for experimentation at this point.
Wow.
What hands there, guys.
little volley. Yep, that great volley was brought to you by Volley. That was the good hands moment brought to you by Volley. Could be onto something here, Cal. Great hands moment. And you still see Durant looking for that little drop off.
I have to say they've been really, really good.
Of not giving it to
Ong
him.
and Rams.
Yeah.
You know, even now when I think they're throwing in a couple mistakes, they're not making that one. They're not hitting like the 3/4. And he's gotten maybe 1 or 2 drops, but he's had many misses. So that's a good job. Oh, good recognition. A perfect time for the waterfall. Oh,
Golly.
they have an offensive shot there, but he shoots it off the screen too much. He needs to roll that.
I was expecting the hammer coming out there.
Yeah, they just
Look
missed.
at that.
Yeah, it was an incredible
That
exchange.
was the hands moment brought to you by Volley. Is that what we're going with? That was.
Actually, honestly, that sponsorship is not been sold yet. So
Yeah, there we go.
Up for grabs for anybody out there looking to great hands moment by hand cream. You know,
Right.
like whatever.
Yeah. Lubriderm.
Lubriderm hand cream. That's the sponsorship has not been sold yet.
Dove. I'm just thinking of different. Who can we contact?
Bring them out.
You know what?
Mike Raleigh, father, husband, coach, marketing genius.
There we. You know, went to the Harvard of the Midwest. I don't know if you knew that, Brad, but
Did ya?
I was a marketing major.
Nice. The Harvard of the Midwest.
Do you know where that is? You know the Harvard of the Midwest? I bet Cal knows.
I'm sure.
Marquette University.
There it is.
The Warriors.
You and Dwayne Wade.
That's right.
And Doug, you know, there's so many Marquetters out there.
Oh, yeah. They're
To say, being a lifelong UConn fan, you know, very anti-Marquette.
Yeah, it's Big East. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
Big East basketball, baby. No, they always had some good battles. Marquette, very good basketball school.
Yeah, it's funny to see that Johan is still looking to pounce on anything that inopportune drives.
And they're still not giving it to him. They're doing a great job with that. And right now, what we see really is Rams he's back to being committed to this type of point. Whereas before, when that flurry went and they went down 4-1, there were 3 or 4 errors, like you know, maybe more, right? And he's committed right back to it. And this is exactly where they need to be. They're going to come this back. This is where they're going to make it. They're not going to make it the other way. It's not that they can't play with them that way. It's just not the way
Right.
to
It's
do
not.
it. That's a great move. He looked for it and didn't get it. So once again, good job. 30 love. These guys are hanging around. Hanging around.
Isn't it amazing? Like Mitchell didn't even. There wasn't a question whether he was going to try to volley that ball.
Yep.
Just I'm going to let it go through, and we'll transition out and play from the baseline.
Oh, boy. Love 40. Great game here from Ogden Rams, and it stems from them going back to what they were doing. Ooh. Wow, what a dig.
That was a great dig.
And you love those little subtle moves that you see from, you know, from Rams there, where he's actually moving up, and he's going to lob volley this anyway, this ball here. Watch, he's going to lob volley it just to steal time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the end of it, but switch in the backcourt. We'll see. Yeah, they got to get there. It is. Yeah, this has been a much better formation for them. I would say like 2-to-1 in terms of effectiveness. Right at the crease, beautiful overhead. He sort of slaps it long and low right at the corner. He's going again.
I love that Johan just pulled an on. Did you notice that?
Little hold the backhand.
One-handed.
Boom.
Pulled an on.
Yeah.
It's the double on.
The double long. He moves all the way outside the line, and it's a function of he's the lob down, the drive down the line. He forces him to go there. He doesn't go to the middle. He crosses the court, and that opens up the down the line drive there. A little slap shot, and there's the break on a fault. I don't think we've had very few faults on the day. Maybe 1 or 2. Big moment there. Great game from Ogden Rams, getting back to what they need to do, slowing down the point a little bit. All right, so 5-2 down, and anytime they've been down, Ogden Rams, they're hanging around. Let's see if they can complete this here, play the game the way they want to.
And if you notice how, you know, what the recipe for their success when they have been down is things have gotten, you know, they brought it back. They've slowed it down.
That's right.
They haven't, you know, they arrested their slides, but really slowed the play down.
Oh. See, but there's a blitz point where he's striking back, and that's fine. It was high. I guess I don't even have a problem with that. But, you know,
but again, that's not the pace that
go
they
back.
play.
Yeah, lob it and go back.
Place
well, do you remember we're in the same situation in the second set? It's 5-3 now. They're serving out the game. Durant and Mitchell won 2 of their 4 points that they won in that game on a blitz play. And the prior games, they really weren't getting that many blitz plays. So it's like in these moments, let's just make sure these don't happen.
Yeah,
Right? You
yeah.
know, let's make sure we don't lose a point in this. It's just so hard to do when you're playing in this, you know, the action of the game is just happening to you. That's just beautiful.
Oh, what a great get from Mitchell.
Oh,
Look at this.
great hands
Like
from Ong.
Ninja-like.
He is very ninja-like. And speaking of that, you were talking before about great hair. I mean, those guys do. They have the flow. You called it the flow.
Yes.
There is a local team here in Detroit, Cosgrove and Parks. And Cosgrove, who's not in the draw today, he's got that type of hair. He's in the hair club.
Is he?
Yeah, now he's a local legend here. And word has it he's been playing with Parks for like their whole lives, like high school tennis through
Okay.
whatever. And now they play out here. But Cosgrove's, he's been, I guess, on the IR. Somebody told me he might have gotten Galooly right before the tournament. And apparently the Galooly thing happened here in Detroit. So it's, you know.
Is that the? Is
very
Are we
possible.
talking the knee? The shot to the knee?
Yeah, talking about that.
Tanya Harding.
Yeah, that happened here in Detroit apparently.
There's a great joke that I can't say online, but remind me to come back to that. Okay.
You got to wait till you're
Gene
offline.
Kempner, if Gene Kempner's listening, it was one of his great jokes.
All right, 2 points
Shout
from
out
the
to my
match
man,
here.
Gino.
Yeah, Gene Kempner, legend. And, Durant Mitchell, 2 points for the match here. So what apparently Parks played in the 90s and won the 90s with a guy, Dave Ripera, who has just
Robert,
apparently,
yeah.
Ripera,
Chicago.
who's
Who's moved here?
a much lower PTI than Cosgrove. So that partnership after 30 years might be ending.
Yeah. Dave Robert, I think, is one of the most talented guys that never played a lot of tournaments.
Yeah.
And he played locally in Chicago and was one of the best players in Chicago and just chose not to play.
Yeah.
You know, and so shout out to Dave Robert. I believe he's a teacher, and he moved over. He was out in the Hinsdale, the western suburbs of Chicago.
There you see that ninja-like play there from Andrew Ong. Great stuff. Oh, big moment. Huge return at 15:30 down. Even up here. As expected, this thing's coming right down to the wire. Blitz play, and he goes for the offensive volley and misses it. I mean, it's above the net. It's the way he hit it was kind of under. It was almost surprising to him. All right, match point here. There's another blitz play. Oh, and 2 volleys missed at the end.
And all because of the blitz. So you called it.
Unbelievable match there. Great job from Ong and Rams, who hung in there and had the formula, but they couldn't stay with it the whole way, Mike.
Well, it was only 2 hours and 44 minutes or something like that. I mean, we'll cut them a little slack, but wow. Great match.
It's funny how at the end we talked about it's not going to be who's going to finish the points, it's who's going to not make the errors. And last 2 he's taken offensive volleys, and we miss them.
Yep.
Can't say they were bad looks. They are above the net, but that's how this one went down. And we're going to be back here with men's semifinal action. I don't think we're going to be able to move the other women's semifinal over. All right, we have it on the other live streaming channels, so we'll be back in just a moment. Men's semifinal action here on the APTA YouTube channel by CSM Media.
In today's global supply chain, international air and sea freight forwarding companies utilize.
Want to see how Volley can transform training at your club? We've got a great offer for you. Gather 30 of your club friends, and you'll get a free 30-day trial of Volley. Experience firsthand how Volley's trainer can help everyone improve. Increase reps and track your progress, all while training smarter. Don't miss out. Visit getvolley.com and unlock your club's full potential with a 30-day free trial.
At Corient, wealth management begins and ends with you. We believe the more personal the solution, the more powerful the result. We treat your goals as our own. We never lose focus on the life you want to build. And our experienced advisors design custom-built strategies to help you get there. It's time for a wealth management experience as sophisticated as you are. It's time for Corient.